What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Came on a little late today, trying to get myself together. But how's everybody doing? Let me tell these people I'm live. Hold on. What's going on? Hold on. Hold on. Tell these cats I'm live. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Instagram. Tap in right now. I'm going live on my YouTube. Tap in right now. I'm going live on my YouTube. Just wanted to give you a little holler. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Live on YouTube right now. Get it? We going in. Q&A Sundays. See you when you get there. We'll wait a couple of minutes, let the room fill up, fam. What's going on? What's happening? You been having some real dreams? Yeah, but it don't, just because you have some dreams don't mean that anything is gonna manifest. Enemy can't nobody do nothing to you unless the Lord has allowed it to happen. Things just don't happen. They gotta allow things to happen in order for it to happen. So you good. What's going on? What's going on? We just start about 2 more minutes. We're going to get going. Let me just tell these folks I'm on live. Oh, okay. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Anything is going to tell these cats I'm on live one time. Anything is going to what's happening? What's up? What's up? I'm about to put the link in so we can start this Q&A. Hold on. Put the link in so we can get up with this Q&A. What's happening with it? I am Rizimnet. Reno Red, thank you for kicking it off with that $10, man. Love you. Here, let me go put this link up in here. We can get it kicking. Think we got enough time. Here's the link if you guys want to get on and chop it up. Got some questions today. I'm ready to answer. I'm ready to answer, man. I'm ready to answer, man. Probably the game is on or something, I'm ready to answer. What's been on your mind, folks? Q&A Sundays. Joe Bliss, what's up?
What's up, bro?
Quit me last week. I seen you on. You didn't come on. I was like, where my boy at?
Well, I don't try to be on hogging up the time, like some people do. I just
Right.
try to come when I got a question for you.
Yeah. Bill, what's up? Thank you for that too. As always, loved one. Get well in
So
your total recovery. Jobler, what you got, man? What you got for me?
I have two questions. The first one is, how do you manage a woman? I always hear people will talk about managing your woman. What does that mean?
Listen, man, I wish I would talk about I'm a man of some broad. Maybe they talking about uh I can hear my echo in your background. Maybe they talking about well see manage. Tell you what, before we go there, since that's what they say to you, let's do this, man. I love doing this. I do this all the time in our classes. So manage means be in charge of. It means to run. Uh, let me see. Make do. I'm gonna get all the definitions down because sometimes the words is out there and we don't really know the essence of them. It means let's see. Organize, take care of, administer, control, handle, master, yeah, accomplish, yeah. That's a lot. So control and handle. So I'm not sure which one they talking about. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on what's their perception of manage is because we see the word has so many different meanings. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think that their perception of how they said that to you or what you heard? What was their perception? Then we can take it from there because there's so many different ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would think that it would mean being able to, I guess, maybe have the woman follow what it is you're doing.
Well, that's
Because
leading in.
well, yeah, okay, well, we'll go with that. How do you lead the woman?
That's a very simple one by example. That's very simple. I always talk all the time is that a lot of folks, man, like when I do consultations or mentoring, same thing. And I've said this before, so you might have heard this. I've heard a lot of guys come to me while I'm, you know, doing some consultation or mentoring. They say to me, Dre, man, if my girl would have just did this, this, and this, I would have gave it a world. I would have did everything, you know. And say I would tell them, really, I got a problem with what you're saying, man. And they really didn't understand. Well, why, Dre? You know. And I said, as a matter of fact, don't ever say that kind of stuff to me again. You know, I said because I'm not echoing, he's echoing because you need to turn me down on the background, Jobless. Yeah, because I can hear myself in your background.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So they would say to me, you know, I would have did anything or I would have did this, this, and this, and I would say it's problematic, man, because you know what you're saying to me is that in order for her, you need her to be a woman in order for you to be a man. Because I don't want you to do anything because it's predicated upon her. I want you to do it because that's who you are. That way you can keep duplicating it, right? You can keep showing up, right? But if you're doing it because of her, then she's the one that got all the power. So if I'm gonna lead a woman, right, I'm gonna lead a woman in showing her what a man is first, because a lot of these girls have never had an introduction to a man. They had introduction to males. These are things that I say all the time. So I'm already knowing when a female comes, she has a point of reference of dealing with guys out there that are very deceptive. You know, I put up a clip of one of my classes about game. And I was like, a lot of guys think they got game because they lied to a broad, right? Or they lied to a lady or woman. And I was saying that that's not game. You just liar. You know, you just a deceiver. You just a manipulator because you're just trying to get what you want to get, and you will do anything in order to get your way. But that's unmanly, right? So I'm gonna be any woman that's ever been with me. I lay down such a heavy foundation, and then I extract that from her. Perfect illustration. You go in there, you got a female, you guys is talking, and you want her to be this, that, and the other, right? She pushes back. And you trying to figure out, I'm just trying to tell you, give you some knowledge, give you some information. But the reason she's pushing back, because what you didn't do is show her what that looked like first. You're talking to a female that's been dealing with a whole bunch of deceptive ass dudes, right? So when you telling her this, that, and the other, all she can think about in her mind is all these dudes that she's been with and how they showed up to her. So she looking at you like, you got to be out of your goddamn mind, right? But what I do is I lay the foundation down, right? I lay it down in front of her, what it looks like to have integrity, what it looks like to be honest, because she might have never even seen it before. So I lay it down. This is what this looks like, right? I don't tell her that until after. So I'm laying it down, maybe about, I don't know, a few months to put a foundation of her seeing me. And then when I come to her, I can extract because of what she's seen me live in front of her. That's a way more powerful way to influence a woman in any capacity because she's seen me do it. So she know it's possible and she know what the shit look like. Because before, she don't know what no honesty look like because she had to be deceptive because the dudes was being deceptive to her. So in order for her to survive in a relationship, she got to lie like he lied. So she show up, I show up, and she thinking that I'm like all the other dudes that she done dealt with. So how you think she gonna come? Right? Deceptive. So it's me understanding what her point of reference is that allows me to operate in order for me to influence her in any capacity or lead her. Let me show her what a man looks like. Let me show her what some truth looks like. Let me show her what some integrity looks like. You know what I'm saying? And then after I know she understands it, yeah, I can extract it, right? I'm expecting what I've given to you, right? Now, if you say I'm expecting what I gave to you and all you gave it was lies and deception and manipulation, she's gonna say I've been giving you exactly what you've been giving me, bro. So I hope that helped, over the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
What's the other question?
Validation, outside validation. Has that ever been a thing to you?
Of course it has. When I was growing up and I had this indoctrinated mind, this mind that this country gave me, this mind that made me believe the way that I was thinking was normal, and the way that I was actually thinking was that everything they taught me to value, everything that they taught me to love, everything they taught me to devalue and to dislike, their right and wrongs, they made me think, Pardenas, thank you for that 10. They made me think exactly how they wanted me to think. I didn't even have my own damn mind. But the trick was I thought I had my own mind. So since I had the mind they gave me, guess who I valued? I valued the people who gave it to me, right? I wanted validation to the people who gave it to me. So you had to look a certain kind of way. You had to talk a certain kind of way to appease the people that you see in power, right? You would say that I want this, this, and this like white people. I want to do this like white people. And the reason why you're saying that is because you got a white mind. You got the mind that they done gave you, man. Right? And people walking around, all people walking around like, man, this is like they really think that the way they think is normal. They don't understand why if you're in the entertainment industry, you feel like if you don't get an Academy Award or a Grammy, that you haven't achieved nothing. You need to go to an institution that is run by white people and get pat on the head for white people to say, you did a good job there, boy. Let me reward you, right? So now you're living up because you got the mind that they gave you, because they took our mind when we first got here. They robbed us of it, right? Mind, culture, language, they took it. And for the rest of these 400 years, I'm talking about the people that was here, because people argue me, well, we was here first. No, not all of us was here first, brother. I'm talking about the ones that was brought over here on ships. So they robbed us of everything, right? And then gave us their mind over these 400 years of conditioning to the point that we don't got no point of reference to how we really thought before. What was really valuable to us before? What was relationships? What was religion? What was marriage? right? So that was taken away. So everything that we are in this country is what they value, is what they hate, right? So you and a black man, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna hate people when they go to war. Muhammad Ali was talking about them Vietnams ain't never did nothing to me. Shit, you white folks is the one that did something to me. I'm about to go fight none of them, right? But he got his own mind back, right? So he was thinking with his original mind, and with his original mind, he could see the game. He could see that poison that was given to us. So that's what I talk about outside validation. The outside validation. I always say this in my classes. I always say this: it begins to cease when you got your own mind back. I say this in our class. You got to give them back their shit. Somebody say, man, what you mean by give them back their shit? Yeah, give them back what they value. Give them back their fucking mind. Give them back their thought process. Give them back what they hate. Give them back what they love. Give them back their shit. And the moment you begin to give them back their shit, right? You can begin to understand what's valuable to you. You know, what you're supposed to dislike. You know, and you're not going to promote what the country is telling you because of that mind that's inside of you. That's why all of us, you know, have this sense of inferiority complex against white people, because of course we operating with their minds, and that mind that they gave us is that same mind that enslaved us. It's that same mind that fed our children to alligators. It's that same mind that thinks that you're less than. So of course you're gonna think less of yourself. Of course it's gonna be easy for you to kill somebody black because they've been killing black since black got here. So you operating with that mind, and when you see somebody that look like you, automatically your mind that's in you is going to respond to the original people that gave you the mind. They can't stand you because you black. So you look at somebody black, you can't stand them, right? Instead of being like, "What's up, brother? Love." You like, "Fuck you, nigga," right? Because that's that mind. That mind be played, and ain't nobody told you that that ain't yours. So you ain't developed nothing to want to fight that shit inside you, because hey, the game was is that, well, let me not say the game, right? The trick is to make you feel for as long as they can that the way you think is normal. So I don't validate any of their systems. I can appreciate anybody doing some beautiful things, powerful things, somebody that's wise. I can appreciate that, right? But I don't forsake what I value for the sake of them. Perfect illustration. Ayo, I see you. I'm coming. Perfect illustration. Deb and I was doing a class. Was it a class? It was a Sunday Q&A. I was doing it, and I was saying that when I was in prison, that when I first met Dub, she had been down for me when I was in prison, right? And she was square. But she visited me every prison, and the feds, they ship you everywhere. So when they ship me from Vegas, they sent me to Arizona. They ship me from Arizona, sent me to Victorville to open that prison. Dove followed me everywhere. Everywhere I went, she packed up and followed me, made sure that I had money on my books, made sure I had visiting, and was there at my worst case scenario. And I said that I live my life every day just to try to please Dove, because of what she invested into me. What kind of cat am I? A woman be down for you in your worst case scenario, and you don't show up for her. Please, you ain't even no man. So anyway, I was saying I value that more than sex. I value what she did more than twerking, more than money, more than anything. And some guy wrote me, he said, "Man, I was gonna call you a trick because I showed the Porsche truck I bought her. I showed the big body Bentley I bought her. Everything. I want to do everything for her." He said, I was gonna say you was a trick until you said that you value what she did in your worst case scenario more than money." See? But with that indoctrinated mind, they teach you it's about the bag. But with your original mind, you begin to understand things about principles of character and integrity, faithfulness, and what love really is. So I was able to freely love her, appreciate her gift to me, her love to me, right? And she got a response out of a man, right, that she's supposed to. Now, if you got that indoctrinated mind, you're gonna be thinking about some money, especially if you was in the pimp game. Oh man, ain't nothing more important than the broad serving it up to me, ain't nothing giving me a socket to my pocket like a skyrocket. It ain't nothing, man. Let the, that kind of stuff, right? But that ain't that important to me because maybe they ain't never had a woman that showed up like that. I have. And if a woman shows up for you in your worst case scenario, like Dove has showed up to me, and then been here 25 years this year married to me, and when my kidneys failed in 2010, went underneath the knife, took one of her kidneys out and gave it to me so I could live. How am I going to value some fucking money over that? The fuck wrong with these cats? You know what's wrong with them? They got an indoctrinated mind. How could nobody value that? They want to give anything to that woman. She done gave me life out of her own body. Are you serious? Yeah. Oh man, let me just say that because I'm about to get heated in a minute. These niggas. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, love one.
Appreciate you, bro.
All love in the world.
All right.
One. Hey, yo, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Dre? How you doing? You right? Obviously
beautiful.
tapping in from man. Obviously tapping in from London again.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I just wanted to ask. Obviously, I'm subscribed to your IG page, and obviously, I cherish and I really like the way that you talk about value and manhood. But I just want to know: are you going to do like a specific class on how to be fly, like a gentleman's class, like?
Yeah, you know what?
How to conduct yourself.
A couple of people asked me that, and I think I'm gonna have to maybe go in. So, you in the IG class?
Yeah, I'm on the IG class as a remnant, so okay. I'm trying. So yeah.
I think that maybe I'll think about doing it on Wednesday because normally I don't make up my mind a week or two in advance what I'm gonna do. I kind of like to be organic, but because so many people have said something to me, I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about that. How about that?
Yeah, definitely cool. Obviously, not to sidetrack. I remember Sinful did a video on how to be fly, and I really liked it. So I'd like you to expand on that. So that'll be good, man.
Yeah. I will. Okay,
cool, man. All right, cool. All right, bless. Yeah.
Okay. Benjamin, what's up with you, loved one?
It's a pleasure to talk to you, man. I listen to everything. I seen you go through the struggle, make it through.
Yeah.
Seen your wife give you the kidney to survive. You know, a lot of people ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna even come to the hospital. They know you were sick. They be like, man, he's sick. Hey, whatever. I done been through it. See this hole right here? Got shot in my head right here, 17. Got seizure. All these scars and stuff. That come from the seizure. I done lived a life. I done did it. I done worked. I done did it all. So I listen to y'all brothers. Y'all brothers keep me going. The rap music, prepare me for the world, everything. I'm from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
2 streets over from Michael Jackson.
Yes, sir.
He on Jackson Street. I'm from Delaney. If anybody from Gary, they know exactly how close it is. The only thing separate his house from my house is the high school. No, I done seen it. I done been places people won't go. They won't go to Chicago. Well, you won't go to Chicago, but you a gang. You look, man. Everybody can't go on. God put me here for a reason. That's why I'm still. I got shot once and survived. My daddy got killed. But you know, I keep going. I keep trying to manifest and just spread my knowledge to the brothers, sisters, the whole world. You know, everybody, my brothers, sisters, no matter what color. Because when I'm sick,
I can't hear you.
You know more about my body than I do. I take medicine every day that I know that's poison. I know it's poison, but they keep telling it's good for you. It's good for you. I say, y'all gave me 10 different medicines for these seasons. I'm 17. I'm 42 now. I say, if you know it ain't going, you can't fix my skull. You can't fix my nerve. God can only do that.
That's right.
I'm still going. I got the postman. I got a daughter to take care of. I got a family to take care of. Cause I know what I want to do in life. I want to be a truck driver. That's it. I ain't care about football. I ain't care about sports. I did it all. I ain't gonna speak on everything I did. I don't believe in killing nobody because that's what God say. I still follow them 10 commandments to this day. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not worship false prophets. If you know you believe in your God, you gotta believe in God. So when I die, that's who I gotta talk to. If he bring me back like he did Jesus, I understand, or Muhammad or Buddha, whoever you believe in. You know, I can't tell you who to believe. I can't tell you not to be a GD. I can't tell you not to be a vice lord. I can't tell you not to be a crip. I can't tell you not to work at McDonald's to feed your family. Because I worked at McDonald's. It fed me. I don't work for $5. I don't work for $100. And did it all. But
I love it. I love it, bro.
I had the money, lost the money. Look at me now. I ain't shady nothing. I'm me. Either you respect me or you don't. You ain't got to deal with me. I walk around here by myself. Shoot, my partners know they need me. I'm there. If you don't want to, it's me. But when you do need me, you know, that phone. Holler out. Bo on the way. I don't want to bitch. You going against the army? I'm with you.
I'm appreciating your testimony, man, because somebody out there might need to hear that to keep them going another day, man. They need to see, you know, that we've had our own struggles, but we still here. That might be something that somebody might be in their last leg and hearing you say those things, and that might encourage them to keep it pushing, man. I appreciate that, Benjamin.
Got to pushing, never stop. God say don't. It's sunny days, rainy days, good times, bad times. It all comes. It's all life. Life ain't all gonna be. The bad days make the good days. The bad days make the good days. But you gotta understand both. They're here for a reason. So you gotta just keep going. I keep telling you, just keep going until we get right. Like my next move, I'm going to United Nations. I gotta go talk to them. Why are we still fighting wars? Why? Love you too, my brother.
I love you,
Glad
man.
to see
you. Yeah.
All day.
You keep pushing, man. The testimony was beautiful, man. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you.
Yes. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing.
Right.
It's time to unite, y'all. Thank you, bro. Thank you. We only got one earth. We only got one life. You got to think about your kids, your grandkids that's coming along. Shoot, I tell them every day they could change the money. You could be a billionaire today, like the crypto. You put your money in crypto, it crash out. What you gonna do now? You gonna give up, or you gonna get back out there and get your grind back? You can start with what's that thing? You want a penny a day, or you want $1 million right now? But if you know the motto, by the end of the year, that penny a day gonna turn into so much money if you know how to invest it. You just gotta keep flipping, keep flipping, keep flipping.
Okay, family man, I want to make sure I answer some of these questions that they got out here.
Don't
family.
quit. My granddaddy worked for $1 a week. All right, family, y'all be good. I'm still in here. Y'all.
Peace. Let me see. Master Move, Dre, how do you be confident even if many people don't like you and gossip about you? Okay, that's a real typical issue for probably every single person in the world at some point, right? So, Master Moves, the confidence is not an exterior thing, right? It is not something that you're supposed to get confidence because you have a car or this little ass jewelry stuff or, you know, anything external. Because if your confidence is derived from anything external, if the external was taken away from you, then boom, your confidence is gone too. So your confidence has to be derived from something inside of you, fundamental, something principle, something that you base your life on that is more valuable than anything exterior, right? I'll give you a fundamental. I love my father, you know, rest in peace, right? I'd rather have my father in this world than any amount of money, right? That's fundamental. This is another fundamental. I respect my elders, right? I respect my elders. I'm just talking about things that are valuable to me inside that make me valuable outside, right? Instead of outside things trying to make me valuable inside, right? So I respect my elders, right? I've never cursed to my father, not one day while I was here on the earth with him, right? That's valuable to me. I respect other elders, even if I disagree with them. It has never been an issue for me to have to prove something to them. I'll just be quiet, right? That's a fundamental. That is something that makes me feel valuable. I'm happy to say that when my dad transitioned, he knew he had a son that respected him all the days of his life, period. That makes me feel more valuable than an individual that might come and rolling by and he got a whole bunch of jewelry on, right? So it's those fundamentals inside of me that make me feel valuable. And you have to find fundamentals so that you can understand what makes you feel valuable. Or you will lend your power. You will lend the essence of who you are. Naomi, thank you for the 10. You will lend the essence of who you are to things, right? So sure, you might say if you win $1 million, you go get a nice little car or whatever, get some jewelry, nice clothes, and you go out there and you feel powerful, man. And you're flossing and all this kind of stuff, and you just really feeling it that you're having it your way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I felt that same way when I was in prison and I didn't have none of that. Felt that same way because my value did not come from anything outside of me. My value came from inside of me. Right. And that allowed me to reproduce it over and over throughout my whole life until this day. Even though I had, kidney failure. I was on dialysis twice, one time in 2010, the next time in 2018. Right. But I still maintained a sense of value about self. That could have made me feel like, oh, man, forget about it, man. Woe is me, this, that, and the other. Right. Or when I was in prison or when I didn't have any money, it could have made me feel a certain kind of way. I met my wife, Dove, when they had taken everything from me. I didn't meet her at the top, right? Because I had got a case. And before I went to jail, they had taken everything under seizure, forfeiture, they call it, a forfeiture law in Las Vegas, right? So I didn't meet her rolling. I met her without any of that. But that was not what made me valuable in the first place. It was what was inside of me. It was the information. It was how I lived my life. It was fundamentals that I lived by, what I would never do. Right? Like my example, respecting my father, never cursing my father, So those are the things, family. Let me see who else is on here. I know somebody just came on, but you got to be patient if I'm answering a question about somebody else, for somebody else. What's going on, family? Let me go see what else we got over here. I just put the link up if you guys want to come in. You ain't got to be bashful. So, while I'm waiting for somebody to ask a question that I can see, because sometimes when I'm talking, guys, I don't see your questions, so you have to repeat them so that I can catch them, because when I'm talking, I'm just in the moment trying to give an explanation to the information, that I'm sharing. So I wanted to say that I have 3 classes. I have a class on YouTube, and that's twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. That's a class that Dove and I both teach. So it's good for your girl and yourself, and everybody can be together. It's cool. A cool of the day. Wow. Yeah, that was Adam. Yeah. Marcus Garvey. Can you make another video about cool of the day? I might talk about that in one of the classes. I didn't even know my son was on. I'm gonna get there, son. Let me finish this. So I give classes on YouTube at 7 p.m. West Coast time, which is Pacific Standard Time, on Mondays and Fridays, right? I give a class on Wednesdays on Instagram, same time, right? And I give a class on Thursdays on OnlyFans, right? Same time. I was transferring everybody from OnlyFans over to YouTube, but my OnlyFans start working again. So I'm going to keep that. And the people there want me to keep that because we have a lot of content on there. Also, in all these classes, I never repeat classes. I'm not going to teach what I teach on YouTube on Instagram or what I teach on Instagram on OnlyFans. They're completely different messages, right? That just shows you the wealth of information that I have, that I can speak on subject and not repeat them, even though we're doing classes every week, 3 times a week, right? And like I said, if you're in one class, you are not going to get the same thing in the other class. I don't get down like that, right? So there's different information. It's all the information, right? But I'm not going to repeat the same subject. There's different subjects in all classes. What's on YouTube stays there. What's on Instagram stays there. What's on OnlyFans stays there. I don't repeat them. I don't go and do a class and then take the same class and go over it. What would be the use of that to having all these different platforms? I wouldn't need it, right? Well, so the advantage of having all the classrooms is so I can teach different things, subjects on each class, right? So what is the information? And then, son, I'm going to get into how to know when God is giving you a sign. That's my baby boy. I love him so much. The information is God's word with my experiences, walking with the Most High, what I had learned. What are some of the things that I had to learn, right? How did I learn that? How did that impact me? You know what I'm saying? So it's the information, God's word mixed together so that I can break it down into everyday time so that you can understand it from a perspective of today, right? How does that thous and these and all that kind of stuff, right? Somebody get to reading the word and they be thousand deep. They be like, man, what's up with this, right? Because it was written in Old English at a certain time. So what I want to do is take life experiences and explain and connect them to why this was being said. What does this mean? And then, did this situation happen in my own personal life? How did I handle it? What did I learn from it? So all of this that I'm sharing with you is from the Most High, from God's word, and from my experiences. Because remember, the experience comes before the book. So let me jump into this. How to know when God is giving you a sign. Let me tackle this like this, right? And I talk about indoctrinated minds, right? And the indoctrinated minds, what does that mean? What does it mean when I say that as a black person, you don't have your same mind? You know, minorities here, you know, black, you know, Indians, Latinos, but as a black person, you don't have your own mind, because your mind was taken from you when you came here. Your language, your culture, everything was robbed from you. And like I always say for the new people, that probably when we first came over here, 1619, that's recorded, that there were probably a lot of us that died because we would not, with our original minds, accept the fact that we were slaves, accept the fact that we were less than, right? And as a matter of fact, they say millions of us jumped off the ships because with that original mind, they probably felt wherever you guys is taking us, I'd rather die before you take me anywhere. And they were just that dedicated to what they felt was right and wrong, and you know who they were as men and women. They just jumped off the boat, millions, right? So what happened is probably the first 15 years, you know, there was a lot of us probably resisting. But after 50 years, when our people grew up, right, in this country of you're enslaved, in this country that you're less than, in this country that if you run away from slavery, then you are a criminal. So after 50 years, when you got people growing up in that, that's all they know. They don't have no point of reference to the original mind anymore. They only have the mind that was taught them. And that mind made them feel like they were slave, that they were less than. And if they ran away from this horrible treatment, which was called chattel slavery, that they were criminals. And so a lot of them actually, our people actually felt that they were criminals in their heart if they ran away. That was the indoctrinated mind. So what do you think if the first 50 years that happened? What do you think after the first 400 that we've been in this country? That you don't even have no record of how you used to think. So after 100 years, you are now feeling like this is how normal to you. You feel the way you think is normal, right? That's all you ever knew. So after 200 years, what do you think? So that's what I'm trying to say, is that you don't even have your own mind. You got the mind that was taught you to have, right? You got their mind inside of you, and their mind already thinks that you're less than. Their mind already felt that you was a slave. Their mind already feels what you feel about yourself, that you're insignificant when it comes down to them, right? That you're not as smart as them, right? That you have an inferior complex to them. You might not admit it, but you do, right? Because you don't have your own mind. Do you think that our original minds felt like they didn't? They said, whatever you guys in this country, however you think, whatever, you can have that shit. We got a whole way of living. We got a whole way of valuing things, valuing children, valuing women, valuing our culture. We got a whole way of thinking. Now you want to come and enslave us and then strip us of what was valuable to us and then make what's valuable to you valuable to us? Well, that's what's happened. So that you go in here and you come to 2023, and what do you have? A record of black people who dislike each other, who will kill each other, who does it often, right? And why is it so easy? Why you don't see any other race doing it like we are doing it, right? Because we have a foreigner's mind. Do you see when other races of people come to this country and they begin to wonder, what is wrong with these black people? You know, they come here and they look down on us, you know? What is wrong with these black people? We've come to this country, we've had success, we've done this and that. What is wrong with these black people? But what they don't realize is when you came to this country, you came with your own culture intact. You came with your own culture and all the things that you value. However you value your children, however you value things, whatever was valuable to you, it stayed valuable to you. You came with your shit intact. They destroyed all of our shit. And you looking at us wondering, that's what the hell is wrong with us. You are fortunate enough to have come to this country where my people died for you to have your freedom. And for you to even bring your children here so they can go to school and so you guys can have some money and prosper. That's because my people, don't get it twisted, right? But you come here wondering what's wrong with us. Well, that's why I gave you a history lesson. That's why I gave you a history lesson. That's what's wrong with us. Because we don't have our original mind, but you come here with your shit intact. So you're able to build immediately because you come in here with a system of what's valuable to you, of your own culture. And some of the Africans come here, right? The Somalians, Samoans, and all that, and you know they stick together, right? And some other cultures, they stick together. Look at Chinatown. Look at all they stick together because they have their culture intact. Now, if we were brought here, if we were able to come here, right, with our original culture intact, we would be able to do the same thing, like every other culture that have come here. And the evidence of that is the Africans that come here that are our color, right? That can stay together, build together, and all this kind of stuff. We're trying to work through their bullshit. We're trying to work through this bullshit ass mind that's inside of us that has made us feel inferior that we think is normal. So it's my job to come with the information, right? And cut that shit up out of our people. That's my job. I call it, what the Most High gave me, it's called the salting process. I wrote about it in my book, The Road to Paradise. I teach about it in my classes, right? Because there were some things that are deep bred inside of us that need to be and impurities that need to come out, and it takes the salt to do it, the salting process. Like salt it preserves something, it takes impurities out of it. It takes the salting process. That's what's going on with our people. And for our people who did not understand, that's something for you that you could share. All right. Driver's seat. Hold on. I see you. You got to show your face though. But anyway, hold on. I'll get with you in 1 second. So how to know when God is giving you a sign? God is so big, he's big enough to let you know when he's talking to you, right? Or you have a sign, right? But generally, mostly somebody is seeking for an answer about something. It's like, I can tell you something real simple. It's like you could be having a conversation with your girl, with your parents. You could be having a conversation with your partners, and it could be something really on your mind, and you happen to turn on the goddamn radio, and the answer is right there. Well, that's a sign, right? You didn't call the radio station and tell them that you had an issue. Did nobody ever know what you was thinking about? But the Most High knew. So the Most High uses people, things. That's how he works through people. He works through things. Right? So that's a sign, right? That's something simple to identify when you are thinking about something or you really trying to get an answer about something and it comes out of left field. You could hear it from a child. A baby could be talking to you 2-3 years old, right? And nobody ever knows what you're talking about, and they could just say something and you know, oh, hell no. There ain't no way that baby should say. That baby said that because God used it. Shit, in the Bible, the Lord using a ass, an animal to speak. So he could use anything. So that's how you know when there's signs. Because he gonna show up. One thing you never have to worry about is God getting over to you what he wants you to know. Never. He's big enough. Sometimes, because I interpret dreams, I learned how to interpret dreams a long time through going through many experiences, right? So sometimes you can have a dream, right? And the dream has got heavy on you, right? So give you a perfect illustration. I had a dream one time, and in the dream, um, I was in prison. I was in federal holding in North Las Vegas. And this is when a lot of guys in there was talking about what they was going to do, if they was going to go to take a deal, if they was going to go to trial. Wasn't nobody really talking about that but me. But I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw like 4 guys in the dream, and there was a white woman in the dream, right? And these 4 guys, black dudes, had sex with the white woman in the dream. I wanted to have sex with her, but it just didn't happen, right? And then it was a spider web in a dream, which means time. That's what means time, right? And then I woke up. So a few weeks later, or maybe a month later or something, all 4 of those guys took deals. Driver said, don't hang up. I'm going to get right with you. All 4 of those guys took deals. I'm telling you how the Lord taught me how to interpret a dream. All 4 of those guys took deals, right? And I would have took a deal if it would have been proper. If they would have came with a deal, but they never came with a deal. They did before they came with a pre-indictment deal when I was in state custody, and I rejected that. But I'm talking about when I actually got into federal custody, they never came with a deal, right? So I realized what the Most High was telling me. Because sometimes I used to have a dream. Sometimes you have a dream that you're having sex with a family member, and it just like, it grosses you the hell out because you never understand what the hell that means. You know what I'm saying? So what the Most High was telling me, because the 4 guys that had sex with the white girl represented the justice system. And them having sex with her represented them taking a deal, being in bed with somebody, right? When somebody said such and such is in bed with somebody, that means they have agreed to something, right? So he was showing me that them having sex with the white woman who represented the justice system, or America, right? Statue of Liberty, America, right? It represented that. But I would have never known that had those guys not had taken deals. All of the guys I had to dream about, they all took deals. And so when I had the dream, I was able to interpret, wow, every time you have sex with somebody in a dream don't mean exactly sex. That means sometimes that shit means that you have an agreement with somebody about anything. You might have a sick dream, right? Because you don't want to see it, having sex with your sister. And you'd be like, what the hell? You might want to throw up. But you guys have agreed upon something that you guys been in partnership or fellowship or an agreement about. That's what that means. But I learned that from going through that situation. Okay, let me get the driver's seat here. Driver's seat, what's up with it? The driver's seat, you on, family? Here's, if you guys want to come on. Driver's seat, give you a couple minutes and I got to go, man, because you on. But if we can't see you, we can't hear you. So let me get back to this indoctrinated mind. So you thinking about, I wanted to break that down to you. So when I'm teaching the classes, because we're in America, right? And there's a constant promoting of America, of its culture, right? Okay, hold on. Let me get to Deshaun. Deshaun, what's up with him, family?
Man, everything is good, man. I'm blessed over here in Las
Vegas. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to reach out, man. So I kind of heard about as far as what to value in a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Her showing up. So, lady, and it's been about 2.5 years, right? Pretty much been. I'm not really looking for something serious till I'm about 30. You know what I'm saying? I'm 25 right now. Pretty much never gave her the monogamy she was asking for. And now, it's kind of getting to that time where the deadline could come, And in my eyes, she showed up. There's been moments, there's been times, and she stood, you know, held me down. Financially sound, I'm financially sound as well. I'm a realtor and personal trainer out here, and there, her body's solid. It's the face for me, right? It's the face. If I had to throw it on a scale, it would be like a 6 or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is where, for counsel, and see how valuable or what kind of value would you give showing up for you. She's got all these pros. She'll be an incredible mom, incredible wife. But there's just one hang up for me, and it's, you know what I'm saying, the aesthetic. What's your thoughts on?
Let me ask you a question then. If you had the most beautiful woman in the world, and she had all those qualities that you talk about too, right? The perfect woman, beauty, and all the qualities that you said the other girl has. How long do you anticipate staying married to her?
Forever.
Okay, then if that's the case, is your love going to change for her when she gets older and loses some of the beauty?
Nah.
Are you sure?
I would hope not.
Well, you got to know it, because if that's the case, then you're having an issue from the beginning about what you might consider to be a 6, and then beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I might see the same person and might think something different than you think, right? So we don't know what your idea of beauty is. We don't know, because someone's idea of beauty could be jet black, someone can be light, someone can be curly hair, straight hair. You don't, everybody's idea of what they think, that old saying, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So you might be seeing her, and there's something about a man, right? Then when he discards someone, right? And then another dude that might look better than him goes and get the girl that he discarded, he wants the girl back. He valued the girl more, right? So
Yeah.
then it becomes psychological. Why do I want her back? Dude over here, he looked like he better in the position than me. He's more handsome. He got more money than me. But what am I missing? Is there something in her that I'm missing? It may be making you feel like, man, I bet I'm going to get my woman, man. Right? And you never had that problem ever again in life.
Right. Facts.
I'm just saying that that it could be up here, right? It could be up here.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to bring it down to here. You're going to bring it down to here. Because this right here, this is going to last a lifetime for real. The other thing ain't going to last a lifetime, because you change. Your views change as you get older. How old are you now? 25?
Yes, sir.
So when I was younger, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I was a teenager, youngster, player, and all that, I wanted to have an experience with other nationalities. I didn't even want to I already had all experiences with black girls, right? So I'm 18, I'm 17, I'm 16. I got white girls, I got Asian girls, I got Mexicans. I'm having experiences because it seemed attractive to me. It seems, you know what I'm saying? I was curious, right? It seemed exotic to me, rare, because I'm used to. So when I got into the game, I was almost the same way. But when I started growing in the game, I had a conversation with my father, and I said, "Dad," I said, "You know what?" He said, "What, son?" I said, "I'm having a real need to have a black woman in my life, for real. I mean, like a main black woman." My dad, he made things so simple. He said, "You a black man." And I was like, "Man, you make stuff so I'm so deep. Well, you a black man." But there was something about me wanting somebody that can identify with my struggle. It was something about me feeling like, okay, I could love a white woman, had married a white woman before, married a black woman before. Now I got a woman that is mixed, right? She's black, but the world's gonna call her mixed, right? But it was something about me having to identify, but it only happened when I got older. It only happened when I got older. I never even would imagine that it would have happened, but it started happening as I became more aware, as I became more enlightened, as I began to grow in myself as a man. It began to be something that was mandatory for myself inside, for me to have a black woman. Her value began to raise and rise to me. Not that she wasn't valuable before, but I wanted to have those experiences. But when life began to be a little bit more serious, sir, I don't know, man. It was something in me that had to have me a black woman. But when I was, I was around your age probably. But before then, shoot, I wanted to have all the experiences in the world. I'm trying to have all kind of nationalities. I went to Hawaii. I'm gonna have me one of them over there. I'm experiencing, man. You feel me? But what I ended up with for 25 years is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's supposed to be for me. That don't make me mad at anybody, because anything that's mixed with black come out black. Just please believe that. You know what I'm saying? The father's black is for real. Not saying that the mother, but I'm saying biblically speaking, when the father's supposed to have the dominant gene, biblically speaking, you black. You know, in this country, you can mix with 1% black and you black. You feel me? But so I want you to make sure that you don't lose out on something extremely valuable, extremely valuable because of the immaturity of your eyes. And that's how I would make it. The immaturity of your eyes, because I had immature eyes. Well, I'm not picking on you because I had immature eyes. But when my eyes grew up, they chose a black woman. Ooh, that's fire right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's fire right there. Yeah.
Real.
So just be careful that you don't mix out on the best thing that could ever happen to you, and then another guy come along and snatch what you had, and you kick yourself in the ass for the rest of your life.
Take heed for sure.
Yeah, be careful. Love you, man.
Love you back, Dre. I appreciate you, man.
All right. PB, where you go, man? I'm gonna get to you. Driver's seat, you on again, man. We can't see you, family. I know you're trying to get in here, but your stuff is not cooperating with you. Yeah, you ain't on, man. Yeah, your stuff ain't on. So go back to somebody else come in. So what I teach is to try to get you back. Let me see. If you knock, okay, let me see. Let me answer this real quick. Because sometimes I got to remember to look in the chat. Sorry, guys. If you knock a cat on the track, okay, and he isn't able to be able to take a knock and he want to kill you over the broad, how do you deal with that? Nowadays, our men have become emasculated, right? And that is an emasculated move, because in the game, one thing that made people, which I am happy that I at least experienced it because it gave me something. It didn't take away, it gave me, right? What's beautiful about the game is how it develops a man. And I know that's hard for the average square to think of it that way, but I'm going to give you a perfect illustration. So just say that somebody has a girl for 5 years, right? His broad, right? And another guy come in the game and knock her, right? You know what made individuals in the game so superior, so revered in the streets, over drug dealers, over hustlers? What made the pimp revered is his ability, right, to resist his emotion. That made him superior. This man had the woman for 5 years and he cared for her. He loved her. They getting money. They done been through ups and downs together. And then another guy come and knock her, and he's able to receive a phone call. Hold on, PB. He's able to receive a phone call from the guy and say, man, such and such, man, done chose me, man. You ain't got to worry about her no more. And he's able to say, man, okay, man, keep it ism, man. We can go have a drink on the broad, come pick up her clothes and all this, that, and the other. And that is superior for a man to be able to do that. For a man to be able to take a loss from the one that he cared for and loved, that he done been ups and down with, and she choose. That's what's beautiful about the game, because they always thinking somebody is forcing, but that's not the game, because a woman have an opportunity to leave anytime she wants. If another guy come and she seem interested more in him, she can go anytime she want, and I'm big enough to have to accept the knocking, right? And then if you don't accept the knocking, all your contemporaries around you that are strong in that capacity will look at you. They got to put the spotlight on you because they say, man, this man ain't no pimp. This ain't no gentleman of leisure. This man is a killer. This man is a dope dealer. This ain't no pimp. There was a difference. And not that I am trying to glorify pimping. That's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to tell you some of the essence, because I don't think that none of us should be pimping if we was in our own country, if things were fair. I don't think we should be selling drugs. I don't think we should be pimping, hustling, doing any of gang banging, none of that. And if we was in our own country, and if I was anybody in law, I would make sure I cracked down on all of it. But I'm in a country that suppressed my people to this day, right? That red lighted our people when about housing to this day, right? That enslaved my people, right? That give us the worst of the world. And to this day, right? And so I know some of us from the bottom have to find means to come up. I understand that. That's what I did. I understood what this country had did. I understood the disadvantages that they had given us as a people. And I was going to find a way off these bricks and out of these trenches. Of course, I don't want us to be there. But I understand what we up against. So what I'm saying is that I learned something that sticks with me to this day. One of the things that a man fears, one thing that he fears, a thought of, even in his mind, is him coming home to somebody having sex with his woman, and him hearing her and having sex, and she might be making erotic screams, and the thought of that would kill him. He damn near want to kill up the whole block. But a man that's in this game could stomach it. Because once she's finished the act, you know what he gonna say? Did you get you some money? Can't nobody do that, man. Yeah, I know you wasn't around there getting tossed up. I know you charged that fool. Different mentality. So one thing for sure, a man that's in this game don't got that kind of fear. He don't want it to happen, but he know he could stomach it because he done been through it. Let me say this. I used to have a girl who was in the game with me, and I just it's good to open things up so I can show you where I got some information and how it helped me in my life, right? So I was with a girl who was with me in the game. You know, she was a prostitute, a hoe. And, and I was still out there trying to get in when I was in the lifestyle over 20 something years ago, trying to get me some more girls, right? And, and then I might get me another girl, right? And be intimate with her. And then the other girl is jealous or got a problem with me being intimate with the other girl or the other girls. So I said, you got your goddamn nerve. You out there having sex with thousands of men probably in a year, broad, and I love you the same. And you got your nerve being worried about me with this other broad. That's how I dealt with that, because I had that experience before, right? And let me show you something else. One time I wouldn't even go in here, man, but I'm just going to go here. One time I had a female with me, and it's called my bottom girl. Your bottom girl is considered your main girl, right? Your main girl. But I was strong and I wanted to build strong women, right? And I know for the average person out there, they can't understand that, but don't worry about it because this ain't for you, right? But I just want to tell some stories, right? So, and this was my bottom girl, right? And I'm telling her that it's important. PB, be patient. That it's important, right? That like I am, right, unpenetratable by the average stuff that moves the average guy, you need to be unpenetratable by the average stuff that moves the average girl, right? For instance, you going out there in the street, do what you do. I don't think about none of that shit. We in this game, we hustling together. You know what I'm saying? We coming up together. It's us against the world, like I said in American Pimp, right? So I'm trying to tell her, if I get another girl and she comes and she see you moved by her coming, she automatically know that you just like her. But if I bring another girl here and when she sees you, right, I might go in the other room. You might say to her, girl, what are you doing over here? Go get in the room with your man. Go spend some time with your man. If you said that to that broad be scared to death of you. Because you would be able to say something that she knows she couldn't do. She'd know you was on a whole nother level. You go in there and be with your man. She'd be like, did this girl just tell me to go in there and be with my man? And that's her man? What kind of broad is this? That's the kind of broad I taught, right? So when I was teaching her, I got this other girl who was gorgeous, beautiful. She was like an Egyptian bride, beautiful, perfect body, just beautiful. Brown skin, just fine, right? And I seen my girl who I was teaching, my bottom, I seen her kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I said, this is how I was, because I'm building strong, right? I said, this broad right here, you worried about me having sex with this broad here that done come and is paying me and you know what I'm saying? My woman now, this is what you worried about me having sex with her? I said, okay. You know what I did? I got that girl and brought her in the same bed of me and my bottom broad and have sex with her right in front of her. And said, if you're going to blow, you're going to blow right now. You ain't going to hold me captive to that bullshit. If you going to blow, let's get it over with. Because I'm a giant around here, girl. Do you know what you messing with? Boy, that's game. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You guys are too weak and too scared. Like that guy that you said got knocked, and now he want to kill you. He need to get far away from this game and go be with them dope boys and drug dealers and stuff. You leave this alone. Just take a specific kind of cat to be in this. The hell wrong with you? All right, y'all about to get me fired up. I wasn't even trying to talk about no game today, but it just had to. Let me get PB. He over there laughing like a mug. What's up, PB?
What's happening, family?
You, man. You. Yeah, man. People got me fired up around here.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. And I'm glad that you shared that testimony with everybody, because what I'm going to ask is, you had mentioned to us.
Y'all ain't paying your tithes. I ain't going to come on no more because y'all ain't paying, and I ain't begging for a goddamn thing because I got my own classes. You understand that? But don't come get this game and don't act like you ain't paying your tithes. Are you serious? Value this game. All right, PB.
All right, I hear you. You had mentioned in one of our classes that in the scriptures it said it's far better for us not to know this truth, or not to know the information, than to hear this truth only to turn away from it. Can you expand on the value of that when it comes to what you're giving us? As remnants now, even if we don't consider, some of us may not consider ourselves a remnant, but whether or not the information you're giving us is subjected to that almighty power.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a couple things, PB. The scripture says that he that knoweth to do good and doeth good not, to him it is sin. Kenny, thank you, man. Thank you about this game. Love you for that. I just want people to value the game. They value entertainment. They'll go over there and spend $200, $300, $400 for a ticket to go get entertained. But I come here, give them this game and give them this manhood, and then they act like, it ain't valuable. I do this out of the kindness of my heart because I don't got to come on here on Sunday's Q&A. I got classes and people and through my classes making thousands of dollars. Don't even trip. And before even the classes, I'm cool, boy. So don't get it tripped, because I done heard some of those squares around there talking about he begging for money. I'm already rich, nigga. Now what? The hell you talking about, boy? Yeah, my name Gorgeous Dre. Andre Taylor, though, but still. Yeah. So anyway, PB, the scripture says that he that knoweth to do good and doeth good not, to him it is sin. So obviously, if you don't know to do good, then what? The scripture talked about before the law came, right? Before God gave Moses the law, right? That he could not judge all the people for I don't care how many thousands of years that were before Moses. He couldn't judge them because they didn't have the truth, right? So when the law was instituted and you knew the law, then that's when the judgment happens, right? That's when the judgment happens. Jay, thank you. You a remnant member, bro. Anyway, but that's when the judgment happens. That's why I said it's better that people not hear what I got to say than hear it and try to go another way, because then you become accountable for what you hear. See, that's how the spirit works. It's different than just words out there that you might, that your partner just told you or something. You guys just might be kicking it or something. But things that come from a source like the Most High, they have an accountability to it, right? And so when those words are laid down and you go against what you know, what was given to you, then you don't escape the accountability that goes along with the word that was given, because every word is not like that. The spiritual words have those implications on it, which is why he said, he that knoweth to do good and doeth good not, to him it is sin. To him the consequence come. To him the hammer comes down. To that one. You understand? Danny, thank you. So that's why it's so important, right, to operate in the information. Because I always said, I've been saying it for decades, it's better that you not hear me than you hear me and then try to go a different direction. Even girls that's been with me, I would tell them, listen, it's better that you just don't, because your whole life going to be upside down, right, until you get it right. Not that you ain't going to have no success. I'm not saying that. It is, see, girls always say, what you mean if I'm not with you, this, that, and the other? I didn't say if you're not with me, broad. What I said is that this information that I've given you holds some accountability to it. Don't think you can just hear it and they just empty words. They hold some accountability, right? So that's what I'm saying. Not that you ain't going to do this, that, and the other. I'm wishing the best for you. That's the kind of cat I am. But understand, you can't get away from the accountability of this information that I done kicked to you, because it's going to wear your ass out. If I told you, we in the street, I'm going to break it down to something simple. If I told you, listen, you out there in them streets, what you don't do, don't get in no car with a man that has a van and ain't got no windows, or they got the windows broke up. Don't ever go to a man's house if he's trying to see you. Don't go to his domain. Take him to somewhere that is neutral, that is on your territory, right? Because I'm telling her, you get in the van, that looks fishy. It's all about your safety. Your safety is more important than anything, right? You go to that man's house, he gonna feel empowered. You don't know if he got somebody there, what he has there, right? Don't do it. So what if the girl go and do it, right? And then she find herself with a bad decision. But I already gave her the game. I done told you what could happen to you. And you going over the safety, right? For whatever your reason is, it's not worth it. So that's what I'm explaining. But I wanted to explain it in real life situations so people can get it. Love you, PB. See you in class tomorrow. 1. Thank you guys who responded. Appreciate you. Yeah. Nobody out here begging for nothing. But I know the accountability, the value of my information that I share. I know that. And I want my people to be accountable. I don't want them to be accountable just for entertainment, where they feel value in entertainment. I want them to feel value of this game, which is only knowledge. I want them to feel like, man, okay, that's cool, but I'm coming to hear this game, man. And when our people get back to a place that we have elevated information and knowledge above entertainment, we will be unstoppable. But that's not where we at right now. Somebody will look at this and white people, they've been there, right? They've been there. They've been there. Tony Robbins, he's worth $600 million. And all he do is what I do, but he do it for white folks practically. And a lot of black people go listen to him too, because he has a lot of good information. Do you know? Ain't nobody, he ain't no white folks over there crying to him when he says, okay, listen, I got this package, I'm doing these seminars, it's going to take $2,300 or wada. If they feel value in the information, they going to go give them the $2,300. I'm not the only person doing this. I just start back teaching. They got people out there that are making millions of dollars educating people that approve and value the information. I just want to get our people back to valuing information over entertainment. That's all I want. Driver's seat. Here we go again, man. Let me see if we can get you. Yeah. Over here crying and stuff. We can't see you, fam, and I can't even hear you.
What's that? What's happening?
I can't. What's up, man? Why it's so dark over there?
What's happening? Oh man, I'm having cam problems, man.
All right, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry, man. I had a question for you. Now,
Yeah.
how were you able to move around the country with all these wolves in the street, from different city, going from city to city, and still play with finesse, all while coming from a church background? To me, that's fascinating.
Because I didn't really come from a church background. I came from a pimp background. My mama was a hoe, my dad was a pimp. I grew up that way. I didn't get into the church until I was later in my teens, right? So, and that was an experience for me, but it became problematic when I seen people that I knew in the streets that was more dedicated and loyal and had more integrity than folks in the church that I was going to. I'm not saying all churches, but I'm talking about my own experiences, And then in the church, when I got into the church, I was 16, yeah. And then, but before I got into the church, the things that I had experienced at such a young age made me like probably 28. So when I got into the church, they looked at my age and wanted to put me in a 16-year-old's bracket when I done seen and experienced more than probably the pastor did. You know what I'm saying? And they want to try to make me that, but I was never that. I've been on my own since I was 16. You feel me? So, the things that I had seen, they only seen in the movie, but I lived it, So, it was just really problematic, man, trying to deal with church folks. You feel me?
Right.
And not only that, just the way that some of them were, just the gossip, the judging, and all this kind of stuff. And I just seen so much more loyalty from the people that I was growing up around. And so when I began to see that the people from the streets that I was around was far more principled and had so much loyalty, it turned me off from the church, so to speak, right? And like I said, I went a long way in the church. I got ordained at 18 years old as a minister. I was preaching. I was preaching everywhere. Oh, we must have lost him. But anyway, let's go. Yeah, your connection is like jacked. Can't hear you now. Yeah, I can't hear you, fam. Yeah. Just type your question, man, because I can't get you on here. So anyway, man, like I said, let me get back until somebody else comes on or somebody asks a question. If you ask a question, I'm looking right now in the chat. Yeah, I appreciate that mode of culture. I remember. I appreciate that. I understand that, but I like some exclusivity. I don't like being, like Kevin Samuels is doing extremely well. Bless his heart. He was on every single day. I'm not about to be on here. I'm on here 3 times a week, and that's enough. But I got a wife. He didn't. I got a family. I got a little one that I got to raise. There's other things that I'm doing. I do music. I mean, I do all kind of other things. I can't just lend myself to be on here every day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other things that I'm doing. I have personal consultations. Then I do my classes and all that. I can't be on here every day giving lives on the hopes that people, because it's a turnoff to me. There's a lot of things that people don't know you. People, I don't give a damn about all that small ass shit. Whoever know me, come get the information. I got classes for you to get it. It is what it is. But you are right. If I was on every single day, things would grow and all this kind of stuff. But I'm cocky that way because I didn't have no million subscribers when I did the great work of police accountability. I didn't have no main internet presence. I had this game though, right? And a lot of guys that got a whole bunch of millions of subscribers and shit like that ain't never did nothing close to what I've done. Nothing. So it's something to me where it kind of turns me off about this having some friends and all that shit, right? It's just a turn off to me, right? Because like I said, I did my greatest work without that shit. Right? That's why I talk about it. Yeah. That's how I'm feeling. But you all right. Stay on every day and all this shit. But shit, I got a life. Shit. Had me on this goddamn thing. This game got a life. You feel me? I'm a mess, ain't I? Okay, let me see. Nobody's business. What does it mean to be a man first? What does it mean? That's kind of self-explanatory. That means that there are some fundamental principles that I live by. Ron, thank you for that 10. There are some principles that I live by, manhood, that I have elevated to one of the highest levels of things that I value in my life. No. Hold on. No, not that I'm trying to get. I was just making an example because there are people that don't understand the value of information. Like people will make like videos talking about Dre is telling people to come $500 for a consultation, and they are, or come to the classes and all that. Like I'm doing something out of the ordinary. I'm probably in last place when it comes down to all that, but I'm just getting started. And I was making an example, like people like Tony Robbins have been doing what I'm starting to do right now for decades, right? And people understand value. So when these guys be making like little videos and shit, why he doing this or he's doing that? Oh, my loved one is on, you know, like because they don't understand. Our people don't understand. We're so trapped. We're so lost. My people, right? But we never say that about entertainment. We never say that about going to get a Super Bowl ticket that might cost $2,500 and up. We never say it about going to a concert or a club or a strip club. We never. And as long as that's where we at, we're gonna still be slaves. Yeah, mental slaves. So I'm gonna get to my loved one Israel in a minute, but let me finish this question with nobody's business. So I've elevated manhood so much so that that's my focus. My focus in life is manhood because that was God's focus about us too, right? Scripture said God made man, period. God made man. God made man. That was enough for him. So, but not as the males we have today. I wanted to investigate what that means. And my daddy helped me with a lot of that. And I did my own research. What is so important about this man stuff? Because the man was here before the woman came. So I was like, there had to be a relationship before the female even got involved. That's what I want to discover. And then when I discover that, I want to teach it to my people. So that's what I discovered. I wanted to discover what was this about this man that he made that made it so valuable? Because God, the scripture says that God made man for himself and the woman for the man. So I was like, man, that's heavy, man. So that's when I began to say man first, because God made man first, right? And I wanted to be able to understand that mind that he was trying to explain about the value of who we were supposed to be. Before the woman, before she even got involved, there was something that was going on between us and the Most High. There was a relationship there that was valuable. And it was so valuable that God looked at him and said, you know what? It's not good for you to be alone. I know I'm kicking it with you. I know I'm coming down here and talking to you, but you need somebody right there with you. Let me go ahead and give you a little snookums. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say man first. But it's a lot more than that. But that's going to take a whole classroom to even get to. But that's the gist of it. Let me get to Israel, though. Let me get to my loved one. There he is.
Hey, hey.
What's up with him?
Dre, what's going on, man?
Come to sprinkle us today, man.
Man, I see you on fire today, man.
I didn't mean to.
Hey, man, listen, you know, I was listening to what you were saying, you know, about our people and their lack of respect for information and knowledge, right? And, you know, it was the same thing with Yeshua, right? Like when he came, right? Like, you know, a prophet is not respected in his own house. You follow me? The same information that you are bringing to our people and practically giving it away, right? If you took that same information to other groups of people,
White folks.
I saw the lecture you did, I think it was at the University of Nevada, right? They would eat that up, brother.
Yeah, it's true.
You see what I'm, because they understand the importance of knowledge.
Yeah.
They understand the importance of information. You know, they understand that they could go to a Tony Robbins lecture and the information that they get from him, if they pay $2,500, they could take that money and they go and make 25 million just by the application of it, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about, you know, money and progress in life, it comes from ideas, it comes from thoughts, it comes from rearranging your mind. You see, and like you said, we got that slave mind, brother. You know, we don't want to be free. You know, we don't value information. You know, we want to be entertained, because in order to be free, it takes work. It takes work to think. It takes work to get rid of old habits and old processes and let go of people, places, and things. And we become comfortable, brother. But I would say to you, man, don't let that shit stress you, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, they need you. You don't need them, brother.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Don't let it raise your blood pressure. You know, if they don't come, they don't come. You follow me? And
it's not that loved one. It's not that. Trust me, it don't stress me. But what it does is I have a love for us, and my love for us, it makes me driven. Because remember, I always say I'm only here for the remnant.
Right.
So I said one time, what has helped me is when I start understanding that concept, right? Because before then, you have a mind that I'm trying to go help all my people. I don't have that mind. I'm not trying to help all our people because it's not going to happen. I'm only here for the remnant.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm putting things out. It's only for a specific ear. For a specific ear, not for all ears. I could care less. Right? Because the Most High said only a remnant will be saved. So they ain't stressed me out. But certain things, but watch this, but certain things are necessary to bring things out of me that need to be said. Because sometimes it's like when the mayor made me the street czar, the only street czar in the nation, right? Official.
Right.
That somebody might have wondered, how you gonna make him a street czar? Well, I'm from the goddamn streets. Who you gonna get? You gonna get the person that graduated from Ivy League or something to come talk to street folks? I'm from the streets, and they don't even know. I had a dream, Israel, and in the dream, that's what the Most High gave me, a street czar, right?
Yes,
I got that. So when the mayor came to me, true story, because this is public right now, they can come and try to debunk it or anything. When she came to me and asked me for my help and support, which was very wise of her, I told and wanted me to be, a consultant to the city, liaison, right? I said yes, a street czar, right? So they sent me the paperwork. And I read the paperwork, and I said, I told you guys to put street czar in there because I had the dream. Right. So I sent the paperwork back, and they put street czar in there because I had the dream. So in the dream, the Most High had given that to me. I never even heard of that before, street czar, but he gave it to me in the dream because the Most High had dealt with me with dreams all my life. So it wasn't, I instructed them everything to do. They wouldn't come. They didn't. I held the terms.
Yes, sir.
I held the terms. You know what I'm saying? Okay, give me an office. I had a big old lavish office. I told her where I wanted it. I wanted it overlooking the city. I wanted it in a high-rise building. When Fox News Q13 came and interviewed me, it was in that building in my office. You know what I'm saying? because I needed our people to see how to move, right? With evidence. Here I am, a man that came out the gutter, but they coming for my assistance, and I'm telling them they can have it, but they ain't gonna hit it for free.
That's right.
And then black people who over here was talking about mad at me because I told the people to give me 150,000. You guys are most idiot. I said, stop making these people use your genius for free.
That's right.
They got a budget for brilliance.
Yes,
White
sir.
people they go out there and they understand the value of their information. And if you want to extract my genius, my information, it comes with value. It is our people that don't understand that. That is a very simple thing in white America. And as a matter of fact, if you don't come like that, your value, they will devalue you, and they'll never probably want to have you in contact with them again because you ain't got the same kind of thinking. That little itty bitty thinking is gonna be a handicap for us, is what they gonna think. That's the thing that gets me, trying to make our people understand that even Yahawashi said, if you don't believe me, believe the works.
That's right.
All right, man, you ain't got to believe your boy Dre. I mean, you ain't got to believe me because you think about he was a pimp or he had hoes or he did this, he went to prison. Okay, don't believe me then. What you gonna do about this work?
Yes, sir. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. And as you know, it's like even with the creator, the creator does not seek people. You have to seek the creator. Please, you understand what I'm saying? The creator, the creator is he's a mystery. You follow me? He's not visible to the eye of the carnal mind, but to the person who takes on a spiritual persona and a spiritual discipline, which is the price, like the price that you have to pay to go to Tony Robbins' lecture. You have to pay a price to connect to the creator. And that's why most of our people don't connect to the creator, because the price is arduous. You have to give up everything, including your own life. You see, but we holding on to some paper that really means nothing. It's just something that somebody printed up and said that it's valuable. See, information, once you get information is the only thing that can't be taken from you. That's why they didn't want us to learn how to read.
That's right.
It was a reason for that. Because once a person knows, you can't make a slave out of a person who knows. You can only make a slave out of a person who doesn't know who they are, who doesn't know what their culture is, who don't understand their greatness, and who's not connected to the Most High. You see, and ignorance is truly bliss, bro. Because an ignorant person can do it. There's no responsibility for ignorance. But when you start traveling the path of scholarship, enlightenment, upward mobility, there's a price you have to pay.
Yes.
You see, and sometimes you have to walk that path by yourself. You can't take your family, your friends, your mama, your brother, your sister, and sometimes even your wife. That's the price. And people are comfortable within the particular situations that they're in. And most of them are going to die there. 2/3 of the earth, it says in the scriptures, are going to perish, brother.
That's right.
That's right. And but anyway, I could start. My father's a Baptist preacher, man. I could start preaching a little bit too, right? But listen, I got 2 questions, Dre.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been noticing, a lot of these lames on the internet, man. I call them lames because that's what they really are, right? They you got these guys who they are downing the black woman, right? Black women ain't this, black women ain't that. Then you got the passport guys that's going over to foreign countries just to get, a little shot of trim, you understand me? But so it's like, I want your take on that, because my take is, I don't blame the woman, right? Because the instructions was not given to the woman, it was given to the man. And so my position is, if the female is out of pocket, it's called the chump out of pocket, man. You see what I'm trying to say? So the responsibility fall back on the chump, right? So it's like, what's your take on all these dudes beating up on the sisters? Man, these bitches ain't this, and fuck them, and I'm gonna go get me another female. What's your take on that?
I teach on it all the time. I got a few videos out, and I've even had videos out about Kevin Samuels, and his fans were really upset with me. But one time I seen a video with Kevin Samuels, and he was talking to a girl who was married, and her husband, and rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, because I thought he was brilliant. But
Yes.
some things that because he didn't have a father, that he would never see until he would talk to somebody who had a father, right? And or he was around a man in his life that helped him. So there were some things there that were problematic that I knew that would resonate with where Black men are today, right? That would resonate because Black men have been emasculated in this country, right?
Right.
So he was talking to the girl, and her husband was an architect, but he had just got out of school. And, during that time of COVID or something, he had lost his job and all this, whatever. But he had told her, you can't help your husband. That was the gist of it. He got to help himself. So that pissed me off. The whole thing pissed me off. And so I did a video and tried to get on his platform, but he didn't want to see me.
Right.
Once he seen me up in his Zoom and he saw my name, boy, he took me up out of that room fast as hell. He didn't want no smoke. Probably
Right.
because he talked to Sinful, and Sinful probably told him, you don't want to do this with Dre, man. That's where I got my information from, is from Dre. So you don't want to do that with Dre. But at any rate,
Right.
what I was saying is that there is no race of men that blame their women in all the country, all over the world. No race. And it is a shame. That's why they don't. Because it is a shame for a man to blame his woman. It's shameful. That's why you don't see no other race doing it. Right?
Right.
But we do. But that's a part of that indoctrinated mind we have. That mind that feels less than, that mind that feels inferior, that mind that needs somebody to blame because they don't understand the value of manhood, right?
Right.
Because the value of manhood is that everything starts with me and ends with me, right? She's just not that big. She's just not that big, right? It's not even about you. Listen, I went to federal trial. The girl that came to trial, who also came within the last couple of years because they were trying to crucify me in the media, saying that I was trafficking children and all that. Well, she came out the woodwork, went on news, and said, you guys are lying to him. That's not what happened. I lied to him about my age. I mean, she told the truth, right?
Right.
But let me just say this. A couple years after I got out of the feds, she got in contact with me. I'm so sorry, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. I said, wait a minute. I said, listen, I've forgiven you a long time ago. I said, you're not strong enough to create a problem for me. This is going to go over a whole bunch of people's heads, right? But let me just say, I said, you're not strong enough nor powerful enough to create a problem for me. You have never been the issue. You're just not that big.
That's
if the Most High has allowed a condition to happen to let me go through whatever, then he's allowed that to happen. But this has never been about you, right? But the average African American man, he ain't gonna say no shit like that. But see, I understand her showing up. Listen, let me just say this because I said it earlier. When I counsel dudes and they say, man, I would have did this if the girl would have did this, I say, man, don't ever say that shit to me because you saying in order for you to be a man, you need her to be a woman. That's what you're saying. My manhood is never predicated upon her. I'm gonna be who I am if whether she decide to be a woman or not. I'm gonna be who I am. That's manhood. That prevents you from blaming her. And somebody said, "But you're not making her accountable. You're not making. We just want to make her accountable, nigga. You ain't accountable." How the hell you gonna make somebody accountable when you ain't even showed up in your own life and showed up to her as being accountable?
That's right.
Because you ain't no man. You a little boy. You gonna make her, you want her to be accountable. How have you showed up? Have you showed up with some integrity? Have you even shown her what it looks like to have integrity? Are you an honest person? Have you did any of that to her? But now you expect to extract the greatest woman in the world to be with your lying ass. Yeah, wrong with you. So I can understand why people don't want to come over here and hear what I gotta say because it's too cutting. It's gonna be too cotton. Well, then carry your ass down the line over there and get tickled with some cotton candy shit then. Because men is over here. Men is over here. Go get your cotton candy over there. Nigga.
Yes, sir. Hey, Dre, one more quick thing. One more quick thing, right? There's a quote by Albert Einstein, and I heard you repeat this quote. It's quoted different ways. One is, I just want to know the thoughts of God. Everything else is just detail. The other one is, I just want to think like the mind of God. Everything else is minuscule, right? Could you just briefly break down what he meant and the importance of that statement that Einstein made?
The one thing interesting about Einstein, as I studied Einstein, and I realized that he did not believe in the idea of a God.
Okay.
He didn't even believe it, which is really key. Yeah, if you study him, you find out he didn't believe in God.
Okay.
So for him to make the statement, I think it was just a statement for there's a word for it in his what do they call it? Oh man, it's missing me, but I can explain it. A statement just for effect. For effect. What is it?
Like shock value. Like shock value.
Yeah, but there's a word for it. Some of you guys up there know it. Man, it's missing me. It'll come back to me. So because I understand that he did not know God, or believed in God, but he understood that a lot of people believe in God. So he was taking a perspective from what he might have understood that people believed, right? And he was making that statement based upon that, right?
Gotcha. Right.
As an atheist, I'm telling you that if there is a God, I would want to know his thoughts. Everything else is minuscule. That's in essence what he was saying.
Okay. Right.
Because he didn't believe it. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Drake, man. Hey,
Rhetorical.
always a pleasure, man.
Rhetorical. It's a rhetorical question.
Rhetorical. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
That means it doesn't require an answer. For you guys who don't know, means it doesn't require an answer. It was just for effect. Rhetorical. That's what that means.
Rhetorical. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, man, it's always a pleasure, man.
Hey, man, pleasure when you come on here and sprinkle us every time.
Yeah, hey man, keep up the good work, my brother. You know, the creator got you, and you're gonna be triumphant, man. I love you, man. You're doing great work, brother.
All right, love you, man. All my heart.
Yep. All right.
Thanks for your patience. That's Smith. Thanks for your patience.
No problem. No problem. How you doing?
I'm well. You kind of got a little echo. We can't really hear you that clear, but go ahead.
Okay. It's probably just these head.
Okay, go ahead. I can't hear you. Maybe your Bluetooth is getting in the way or something.
We good now?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you still got a little echo, but go ahead. We can hear you. Israel's one of my favorite people in the world. That man is so powerful. I love when he comes on and sprinkle us. Go ahead, bro.
I got more saying than a question, but what I gotta say was like, you much touched on it when you said like accountability, how we accountable. You get what I'm saying? As a man, and it's like you spoke on earlier, like a female. Okay, I'm gonna give you this game. It could become different before you know you are more like you more because when you more held accountable because you know the information, right? So it's like as a black community as a whole, I feel like we fear the game turning up. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? It's like,
okay, hold on, because you are echoing, I'm only getting like pieces. It's broken. We can't hear you. People in the chat are saying it too. It's broken. I don't know why. What can he do, guys, to fix that? Is there something he can do to fix that? I'm trying to get some information in the chat so I could help you fix the problem because you echoing and it's broken. We can't hear you clearly. When I want to hear everything you got to say. BC, thank you for that too. Cry baby ass. These cats, man, I'm telling you, man, these cats in this country be so cry baby. I'm serious, man. Not you, bro. I'm just talking about these cats that be complaining all the time about this game.
What about now? We good now?
Talk a little bit. Still echoing. What's up, Dove? In the chat. Love you, baby. You still echoing. Hey, it says turn your Wi-Fi off. Prince Pierre said that could be what it is. Thank you, Anthony Phillips. We'll be waiting. Tomorrow we have class, so it's about to be powerful too. The one while he's getting his audio stuff together, let me just say this, guys. The one thing beautiful about my little cousin in there, CJ, what's up? The one thing beautiful about the classes is that once you join the classes, you have a library of information that you've missed while you haven't been there that you can go through at your leisure. You have a library, and that's on every single platform from YouTube to Instagram and the OnlyFans. You have a library of stuff, that's just there for you. I'm just practically I can't just give it away like that, man. Not the information because I got to teach our people something. But in essence, I am. Just like somebody said, that's like Israel said, in essence, I am. Once you pay the class, I think the 2 classes a week. Well, my YouTube class, I think it's $50, something like that. And I do that twice a week. I think my OnlyFans class is like $30 or something like that. $30, $35, something like that. And the Instagram class is like $20, right? Because that's all they allow you to charge, Huck, what's up? Oh, let me put the link in, Huck. If you guys want to come on, here's the link. Des Smith, D.
We good now?
You're still echoing, man. I don't know what it is.
Let me see.
BC, thank you for that testimony. This is what BC said about the class. Yeah, that's what's up, BC. Huck, I put the link in there. Come on. Oh, wait a minute, Huck, you might be on Facebook, huh? Well, it should still show up in Facebook. The link should still show up. If not, go to your not your IG. You're gonna have to come on YouTube then. If you can't get the link in your Facebook, go over to the YouTube and come on. What is this here? Oh. Oh. Dre. Hold on, Huck. What's up, loved one?
Man, what's up, Dre? Hey, I look rough, man, but hey, I'm on here though. What's up with it, loved one?
Man, it's good. Wait, hold on. Let me answer this question. I'll answer that after I talk to you. Let me talk to you first, and I'll answer this question.
Okay, I'll try to make it quick. Hey, man, so just talking about accountability, right? So in a situation with Memphis, when them black officers killed that black man, like my background is from the streets. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my coming up, you know what I'm saying? I've seen stuff like that, unfortunately, happening a lot. And I'm glad at least now it's bringing an awareness to it. But here's my question to you, though. See, when it's a white cop doing it, I think it showcases a problem that's also there, though, right? Mm-hmm. But because I'm asking you because you're such an honest man. I know you also know that we have problems ourselves in our community, and it's hard to talk about. Mm-hmm. So I got here late. Did you already give your thoughts on that situation in Memphis?
That's what the question was I was going to answer. So you right on time,
right man. On time. Okay, this game on time for sure.
Let me listen, man. Well, you want me to hop down? I can hop down and listen in the comments.
No. So what was the specific question?
Well, your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on okay. It was kind of a twofold question. I'll just ask one of them. Accountability. Do you think that if we always constantly assign the burden on white supremacy on them, it kind of like holds us off for having self accountability and just self. I can't think of the word. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. If we are always saying that the problem is white supremacy, but we let ourselves off the hook when we do the same kind of shit.
It doesn't give me agency, right? It takes away. That's the word I'm looking for. It takes away my agency as a man in saying like, well, look, I could just fuck off, Dre. What's really the point? Why do people like you go so hard when you could just be like, hey, look, if it's shit fucked up for me, I got somebody to blame. But I don't want to minimize the shit we went through though. So that's my question to you. How do you parse that? How do you separate that?
Separate the fact that we've gone through this stuff in this country, but at the same time, a lot of our people are showing up in ways that we're killing each other more than police are killing us, right?
Exactly. That's exactly my question.
How are we dealing with that? So let me just say this, man. Because I talk about both, right?
Right.
So let's get first on the police accountability.
Okay.
Right. And like I said, I've been the only one to be able to defeat the system when it comes down to policing. Right.
You have. And congrats. That's wonderful for it. I got to say that.
Yeah. Bless
that's
God.
Big for it.
All praise to the Most High. But I'm only saying that to say this. When I came here, and we're gonna go all the way around, we're gonna hit every little thing because I know people. It's a present situation, so we're gonna hit every angle and every point. When I came here, you have to understand that it was our people that were against me, right?
Right.
They were like, this guy was a pimp from the streets, whatever, but they were against me in every capacity. Not only were they against me because of that, but what I felt could be achieved, we didn't feel like that could be achieved the way that I was operating. Do you understand? Right. Because of that inferiority complex.
Right.
But what I decided when my brother was killed, what I recognized is how we kept losing. All these years, how we kept losing. And I discovered it. And I said, because we are very reactionary people, right? I said, when a situation happens, I've said this before, when a situation happens, when the police kills one of us, there's a reaction. And that reaction could be marching, burning up stuff, breaking down windows, going down, wherever. It could be a reaction. So what happens when that reaction happens is that the narrative, what's the narrative? The police officer killed another unarmed black guy. That's the narrative. That's the hot topic. But guess what? When the community starts doing all that rowdy stuff, we lose the narrative. That heat that police are under, because all the media now is focused on the reaction.
Right.
No one is focusing on that the killing no more. So we've lost the narrative. And when you're doing political things, you can never lose the narrative. It's all about the narrative, right? So what I decided to do was to never lose the narrative. So when I came here from LA, I sat down with the chief of police and I told her, I know I can't bring my brother back, but I'm still willing to work with you to reduce the incidences of violence in the community. But what this was a response. This is how I came up with responding and not reacting. This was a response to what happened, not a reaction, what they used to, which they're used to mastering. They're used to mastering us going to march, going down there, burning up buildings, turn over cars. They say, oh, they'll do that for 2-3 weeks and it'll be over with. They know how to master that. It's nothing because it's a reaction. They master reactions, right? I gave them a response. And when I gave them a response, it did a couple things. It made the chief of police have to continue to engage me. He had to continue. Because now what I did is I put her in a place that the community, even her own people, would say, this man came to you and said that he's willing to work with you to reduce the incidences of violence in the community, and you don't want to work with him after you guys killed his brother. He was able to say that to you. So I got her trapped. I got her trapped. And not only do I got her trapped, right? I still got the narrative on the killing. The narrative is still on the killing. It's not on the reaction.
Brilliant. Right? Brilliant. Yeah.
So that's the narrative fight. And so I kept that all the way through. There was never a reaction from me. Never one time. There was always responding. Response, never a reaction. And when I got the people together, I told them, if you're the kind of person, if you're the kind of brother, that if a white person can call you a nigga, you're going to lose the victory, you can't be here with me. Right. You ain't prepared for this fight that we got to fight. So you might as well, I love you, but you ain't ready. Right. Because we ain't reacting, we responded. We keeping the pressure on them. The narrative is never going to get off this incident. The pressure is on them, and we're going to keep it on them. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to teach. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and then I'm going to say this part, then we'll get to the other part, the black people, us.
Okay.
Then what I did is I took every community, the white community, the Native community, the Asian Pacific Islander community, the Latino community, and I went and spoke to their leadership because those communities had experienced the same thing that my brother had experienced. And I went and represented those families. And when I represented those families, I put their stories at the forefront. I put the white family story out there, so let them talk about their son. I put the Latino families, the Asian families, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All families out there talking about the same thing that happened to my brother. And the genius of that was it connected every community together.
Right.
But here's the kicker, though. And I'm saying this publicly, but here's the kicker. White people wasn't fighting for us this time.
Okay.
White people was fighting for themselves because they knew it could happen to them.
Right.
Asians weren't fighting for us. Asians was fighting for themselves because they knew it could happen to them. And every community was vested in the fight for themselves and not for us.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
So now I got everybody together, white people, and I'm fighting for white people as hard as I'm fighting for my brother. I'm fighting for Latinos and Mexicans as hard as I'm fighting for my brother. I'm fighting, I'm giving marches on for every community. Now I done built power now. Now that's called building power, something that's a real relative thing when you're building an organization from the ground up, right? That's called building power. So when I got every community together, fighting for the same thing, then I went to law enforcement and says, we're not asking, we're demanding. Then we went to all the political powers all over the state. We're not asking, we're demanding. And I could do that. Why? Because I had the power on my side.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And we brought them to heel, change the law, lead this whole country in police accountability. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if I would have came and I would have said, my people don't support me, and I would have stopped, we would have never got it done. My people talking about me, I knew they didn't understand. I had to show the evidence. I had to show my brilliance and show the evidence. So not only did I bring all those families, we brought 23 different organizations together. The LGBTQ community, because they suffer from police accountability. We brought all these different not only that, but disability rights. People that are disabled suffer from police accountability. 25% of the people that are killed by law enforcement are people that are in a mental health crisis, right? Or in a mental health. So we brought all these different organizations together in addition to the families. So that's how we did that. Okay. So now let's talk about Black people.
Right. Let me just say before you get to that was brilliant. What you did was so magnificent and brilliant. And my idea of the brilliance is you literally led beyond your pain, like you said. You didn't make it, because if you make it seem like white cop killing Black person, the narrative is so narrow, the window's so narrow that when something like a white person gets killed by a cop or a Latino, you know what I'm saying? You can't infuse that into the struggle. So let me now go ahead. I just had to put that in there. I didn't miss the brilliance.
Hey, you sharp, man. You sharp. Because what I was teaching is that this is not a Black problem, that this is an American problem.
Right.
So we elevated it from that being a marginalized voice, right? So before we go to the next.
Okay.
There's a lot of brothers, quote unquote, in the conscious community that be like, man, I'm only worried about my people, man. And I'm just here for black people and this, that, and the other. And I always tell them, brother, you don't even hear what the hell you talking about. You don't even hear what you saying and what you sound like. They be like, man, what you talking about, man? I'm here, black man. I'm here for the black man. I said, that's obvious about me. But let me explain something why that's problematic, what you're saying. Because what you're really saying is you don't have the capacity to lead all people. You ain't got the brilliance. I said, I come here because I have the capacity as a black man to lead everybody.
Oh, right.
I can lead everybody. Black, white, blue, purple, whatever. I got the genius to lead all people.
Exactly.
So I said it like that to them. They was like, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying.
You can't argue that. There's no argument. There's no argument to that. They can't argue that because you're saying that the power lies with us, you know? And what you did by having the police accountability, you helped more black people than a motherfucker would if they only focus on black. That's the whole genius. Like, you got us where we needed to be anyway. But go ahead, though.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm telling them, I'm like, look, man, when you thought the Europeans came to conquer the world, which they conquer 85% of the world,
right?
China and the Ottoman Empire was never conquered, but they. So I said, did you think they came out saying we just gonna go conquer other Europeans?
No.
I said, hell no. We're going to conquer everybody. If you ain't got the mind that you got the ability to not only conquer but lead everybody, that shows you how limited you are. So it doesn't. You don't sound brilliant on the global platform when you say I'm just here. You got to be brilliant enough to bring it to everybody.
Everybody, right?
Yeah, everybody. Okay, so us. So, what is some of the problems with those brothers? And a lot of brothers that are in law enforcement, not all of them, because I had a great and I can't even call the name, and they're gonna be really upset with me. But it's a black police organization out of Seattle, in this area that supported me first. The first police organization, the black. Oh man, and forgive me, guys, if you are out there watching or if you ever watched this video. They were such an intricate part of this movement because they were in support from the beginning. So I'm not saying all black people, because they even took it to the nationals with all black, the Black Police National thing, and they supported. But what happens is what Ice Cube said in one of his songs, right? Mm-hmm. There is this mindset that because you got that indoctrinated mind that you already feel inferior. Right. It's like the thing I said about a lot of singers and a lot of black people that never feel like you've really achieved anything until some white organization have approved you.
Right.
You did a good job, son.
Right.
And so a white person have said something, you haven't done anything. That's the mindset. Right? And a lot of us still suffer from that. So why would you think that a black person who becomes an officer doesn't suffer that? So because he suffers that, he needs to push to the extreme. White cop, black police showing out for the white cop, Ice Cube.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there is this inferiority complex, not all black officers, because I said there's some damn black officers that was riding with me.
For sure.
Right? But enough of them to be in that space of that approval, and that seeking that validation and that approval will make you go extremely far, so that the captain, so that the police force, so that everybody know I can keep our people in check.
Right.
I can keep I can keep these niggas in check. They gonna check. You understand?
Right. No, for sure. Right.
And then you have this mentality, not the mentality of a black man like the black men and women that were supporting I-940, black men and women police officers that had an understanding of what has happened to us as in this country, that what has happened to the people in the community, what we suffer from, what are some of the disadvantages, that have caused some of us to do some of the things that we do. I had them kind of officers. that would go into a situation, not necessarily let you off the hook, but at least understand your condition and deal with you from their understanding of your understanding of the condition.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then because you know they understand, not when you're trying to bring no game on them because they can see the trickery
Right.
or that
Yeah,
too.
not that. Right. Right.
No, but when you know they understand, you have an expectation of safety around them. You're supposed to.
Right.
This person is not going to do this just because I'm black. At least that's eliminated.
Exactly.
So we
Right.
think, right? So if we get put over by a black officer and you see him getting out the car behind you and you see get out and he's black, normally there's a shit, thank God.
Right. One of my own, right? One of mine, right?
And you are supposed to feel that way because they understand you differently. Give me a perfect illustration. I said this to a meeting of officers, right? I told this story. I said, okay, let me explain to you guys to make it real simplistic to you. I said, Bob is at a bar, and Bob is a construction worker, and it's the weekend, it's Friday, and he goes out to the bar, and he gets a little too drunk, right?
Right.
And Bob, and so they call law enforcement, and law enforcement comes in and they see Bob. Law enforcement gets Bob. Oh, he's drinking too a little much. Where does he live? Take Bob home, knock on the door. Bob just had a little bit too much to drink, right? And Bob goes home and he's safe. I said, another scene, you got Bo Ray you got Bo Ray. He's in the bar. He's a construction worker. And he just want to go, this is the weekend. He's going to let his hair down and he gets a little too drunk. So they call the police. White police officer comes in, got his gun is drawn.
Right.
Because he's presented as a threat. Right from the beginning. Right? He might lose his life. Right?
Right.
And this is what I said. I said, you know the difference? I said, when a white officer goes into a white community and there's an issue, he goes there because he feels with the mindset that the majority of the people in the community are law-abiding citizens. He goes with that idea. And he's just going to remove whatever the problem is that's going on in the community.
Right.
But when a white officer goes to a black community, he doesn't think that the majority of the people there are law-abiding citizens.
That's true.
He goes into our communities like the majority of the people there are criminals.
Right.
So when he goes to our community, do you see the difference in posture?
Right.
Because the majority of the people in our communities are law-abiding as well.
Right.
But he doesn't view us that way. Our color has been criminalized.
Right.
So he goes into our community with the attitude that the majority of the people there are criminals, not to take care of whatever the threat is in the community for all the law-abiding citizens, because everybody in the black community are criminals anyway. You see that? You see, when you start breaking things down like that to people and you start giving the inside of the information where they can understand, do you understand? That's how I was dealing with them. That's how I was dealing with them. When I was having a debate with Mike Solon, who was the president of one of the police unions, right?
Right.
We were talking about the police killings, right? And I told him, because Mike Solon was saying, well, these are mistakes that happen. These are mistakes. These killings ain't premeditated, they mistakes. So then I said they're mistakes. I said, because I talked to Dan Satterberg, who was the King County prosecutor, he said the same thing to me. And I said, how many times does a mistake have to happen until it becomes something else?
Right. Good point.
This is a mistake. Well, how many times that it has to happen until it's not a mistake? They couldn't answer.
What's the threshold? What's the threshold from mistake to not to? That's right. No,
so that's how I was dealing with them, with the information, with the knowledge. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Killing them here because Every time I'm coming into the room, they looking for the pimp, and they can't see him. They can't see him. They looking for the pimp, and they can't see him, man. And I'm hitting them like that. I'm hitting them like that. You know what I'm saying?
Brilliant.
So,
no, for sure.
You feel me?
Right. No, yeah.
So with our condition with this killing that we just received is one of the most horrible things that you can see of any person, any race.
Right.
But the fact that it was a black police officers doing that to a black man, was damn near worse than a white officer doing it.
Right.
Because of the history of our country, because you should know, because you've seen the same activity from white officers that might have the perspective that the white officer goes into a black community feeling that everybody there are criminals, goes into the white community and feels like everybody there are law-abiding citizens. Because we understand that that could be a thought process when it happens to us on the road to a black person driving. Because we know you understand that, it makes your offense a million times worse.
I agree.
Because you are accountable for the information of knowing. It
I
makes
agree.
it a million times worse. That is the worst shit. It is worse than Rodney King for that fact alone. Because you know, because you have had personal experiences in your own goddamn life and you know it. But what you did, because you have such an inferiority complex that you felt you needed to go beyond the pale to become Rambo or Commando Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're going to be the top cop. You're going to show your superiors that you can keep black people in line. You're going to be unrelenting. You're going to laugh about it. You're going to joke about it. Your penalty should even be that more severe if you allowed our people to do the punishing.
Right.
If you allowed our people to do the punishing, yeah, it would be more severe than your punishment for them.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. I do. Yeah. Hey, Dre, I do. And you know what else? I was in prison right now. I was talking to, it was like a little program, and we had a discussion. And the discussion was, I think it was brought up that within our community, within the black community, it needs to be a civil war, right? And it sounds crazy and it sounds violent, but it's basically the topic. When you were speaking about jealousy when Nipsey Hussle died, it was one of your most, I could tell the passion in you. You know, you usually don't cuss a lot, but you was very passionate in that one. I think there lingers traces of that in so many of different situations. There's that hate that some of us have. Some of us are trying to be serious. Some of us aren't, you know, and I think maybe not a physical civil war, but at least like I think you call it a separation. You know, there needs to be some kind of separation. I think maybe if we did that a little bit more, those guys can't come back to the community. You know, because when I was in the hood as a young guy, we had two cops. It was called Bigfoot and Flashlight, and it was the same way. You watch the movie about it. They had Officer Friendly. If you watch Boys in the Hood, they had that black officer who was chastising Trey. We seen it, we portray it in our movies because we know it's true. Sometimes it's in there, that insidiousness, and like you said, they want to just be looked at, you know, looked at as superior. So listen, Dre, you know me, I can chop it, you know, from the game, but I'm not going to take up too much time. I want to say this though: you are in a unique position to help our people, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because you've mentioned this already. Your intellect is insurmountable because you're well read. You also have the spiritualness, you know, you can deal with things unseen like they're seen. But also what you have that is gonna really separate you is the game, is the aspect that you got that you know what I'm saying, that shit on you. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can smell it. Nigga from the hood can smell it. And what that does is, I think that's what helped you to be so insensitive when it did happen to you. Yeah, it was crushing when you saw the blow happen to lose your brother. I couldn't imagine. I got all mine. But when it happened, you had to draw from, we've seen some shit in these streets, you know that. And so you were able to still act, whereas people will come with a brick. Well, they're prepared for the brick, but they're not prepared for this brilliant mind, though.
Right.
Yeah, we used to rule the whole world. It's not a foreign concept. So yeah, I just had to leave you with that. You're in a unique position because some niggas might have it, some niggas might be collegiate. A lot of our leaders went to college and everything like that or whatever, you know. But what resonates is, I still think that even with that, you can battle them in that forum because you're well read. Because in the game, like you said, in the game, it was about niggas was brilliant. We weren't dummies. You know what I'm saying? Niggas have brilliant minds because we're trying to, you know, get into that world. And so I think that's where they're unmatched. And I've noticed that even with myself, is like I can articulate and everything, but what brings me able to reach the masses and the people is they see me as one of them. So let me just say that, Drake. Hey, I applaud you. Everything you said, I'll let you speak because what you're saying is so powerful. But man, everything you said deserves applause, man. Hey, love and you know, I'm gonna let somebody else. I'm gonna hog up the whole time, man. But it's always good talking to you. Love, man.
Love, baby. Always. Come on
and
sprinkle us anytime, man.
Man, you sprinkling me, man. For sure.
I love one. Man, it's so listen, man. I'm so inspired to see our people, the brilliance of our people, man. It's beautiful, man. Brother, so powerful, Huck. Israel, just a lot of us, man. It's so inspiring, man. And you know, Huck said there needs to be a civil war. Well, there is one going on. We're creating it right now. That's why I always say only a remnant. I'm only dealing with the remnant. I didn't come here for all of us. It's unfortunate, but I didn't. I only came here for the remnant. They that can appreciate the information, but at the same time, I got to put that wide net out and at least explain some of the conditions of our people. That's mine, and to give us a fight, right? Because like I said, we all think that we think normally. We don't think normally, right? This is not our original minds. So at least I got to give the information out there to give people at least a thought to make people feel like, well, damn, Dre right, man. Then if you can realize that, then that sparks an open portal of your mind. Something opens up and you can begin the fight of evicting. And I always say in my classes, give them back their shit. Give them back their shit. Give them back the way that they think. Give them back what they love. Give them back what they hate. Give them back what they think right and wrong is. Give them back their shit. And then you won't seek their approval so much. And the moment you have self-validation about who you are, who we are, how beautiful it is to be the remnant, the true people of the Most High, the true people of the Most High. And when you don't have to prove it, when the Most High will bring evidence and he will bring the manifestations and he will bring the receipts. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, I got the receipts. They could say what I'm not all they want, but they cannot discard these receipts. You cannot discard this work that I did. You can't discard this brilliant mind that I used to do it. And I've already told you I got that from the Most High. And yes, my mama was a hoe. And yes, my daddy was a pimp, right? Because God is not looking our condition like you have taught us to look at our condition. The Lord said to us, to Father Abraham, put him in a deep sleep and told him that your descendants will be taken into a foreign country that is not their own and be enslaved there for 400 years. But then I will punish the nation that have done this to them. So the punishing is not up to us. That's why I don't have a disposition of punishing. I got a disposition of loving my neighbor like I love myself. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means to be fair. That's all that means. Loving your neighbor like you love yourself. That means be fair to every man. And even though they have done what they have done to us, that have never allowed me or made me not be fair. Because I come here as a leader to teach. And so the first thing I want to teach is what my father told me. Don't ever allow them to become your teachers, because you have done the most horrible things to our people, chattel slavery. And the remnants of chattel slavery lives on into our lives unto this day. That doesn't mean that I didn't fight for somebody because they're white. That doesn't mean that I don't love somebody that's white. That doesn't mean that. I have very genuine friends that I love, that I will go to battle for. Lisa Dugard. That is a woman who I love. She's a white woman. I don't look at her as a white woman. I look at her as my friend. The Langford family. Their son, Billy Langford, we fought for him. I love them. You see what I'm saying? There's many relationships I have with many different races because I'm a man that loves. It doesn't stop. It doesn't see a color there. Then because of a color, my love stops. My love is way greater than that. Way greater than that. Right? And like I said, my dad said, don't ever let them become your teachers. So I come here to lead. What that looks like. What does that look like? I don't have a violent bone in my body because I never invested in violence, because it was nothing that I looked up to, even though I saw it perpetrated in my communities. And even though a lot of Black guys in my family, I mean, not in my family, yes, in my family, but in our communities, they are the ones that, look to violence or look to tough guy and look to, I'm hard. They look to that. I've never looked to that. Why? Because the hardest cats in the world have been defeated by this system. The toughest guys in the world have been defeated by the system. The top pimps, the top drug dealers, the top hustlers, the top whatever have been defeated by this system, which lets you know it's not something to invest in. It's nothing for me. So when I grew up, it wasn't that I invested in, but I invested in this right here. And that's why it shows, because I invested in this. I became well read, right? And through experiences with the Most High, that birthed in me a knowledge and an information that is foreign to the systems that this country have put in place. The only way to get knowledge, you go through a school system, you go to Ivy League schools, you get education, right? I've always told our people what comes first, the book or the experience. The experience comes first. Even in the Bible, there were men that had experience with the Most High that were written into a book. So the experience is a valuable teacher. And that's how I've learned so much, is through the experiences walking with the Most High. That's how I learned. You feel me? So let me put this. Yeah, hold on. So I'll put that up there. Maybe take one more person, and then I'm gonna get off. But at any rate, man, I appreciate all the people that contributed. I'm going to still decide whether I'm going to do Q&A Sundays. I'll see if I don't come on next week, because I decided not to do them anymore. I like doing them because I like people to find out about the classes and encourage people to come and get into the classes so that I can teach you, so that I can at least give you what has worked for me. There's a lot of people out there that's talking. A lot of people talk about me, you know what I'm saying? But they can't produce any receipts. They can't produce any receipts, right? And let me say this. I always say this. There's a lot of people out there talking, and I always say, has your information impacted your community? Has it impacted your city? Has it impacted your state? Have you shown what your information is capable of doing? And if you haven't shown what your information is capable of doing, stop trying to sell it to us. At least when I come and talk to you, I can point to and show you what my information has been able to achieve, right? So at least you know there's some factual things about it. I'm not just talking. I'm not just trying to impress you. I'm trying to tell you that I use this to defeat the system of white supremacy. I've used it all my life, right? I use it all my life. I use it in everything. I'm not in the pimp game. I haven't been in the pimp game for years. I've been married this year for 25 years, And for the brothers out there that's still in the game or still in the streets and all that, you don't have to be defined, by your yesterdays. You don't have to be defined by your mistakes or you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be defined by that. I like talking about, people say he talk about that like he's proud. Listen, I am proud of the fact that the Most High dug me up out of any pit that I was in. If I don't show brothers that's in the streets where I'm at now or talk about where I was, how can I connect to them? I might not be talking to you. I come to talk to my people. Now, if you happen to be eavesdropping, then okay, fair. But I'm talking to my people, and God brought me up out of those conditions to have something relative to the people that's there. That's who I'm talking to. Them brothers need to know that, listen, wow, if Dre come out these streets for real. Dre done been to federal prison. Dre, mama was a hoe, daddy was a pimp. Man, shit, and Dre could do it, I could do it too. Well, that's exactly why I share it. Because I want to let people know that it's possible. That you do not have to be defined by your past. You don't have to be defined by how you were born. Right? This country, with the mind that they've given us, will make you judge your own people, like my people judged me when I came up here to fight for them. They've never ever given me a chance to have done anything. Right? Never. And it wasn't even my people that saluted me. You know who did? White people. White people. Their platforms came and appreciated what it took for me to be able to pull off what I did. The New Yorker came, the national news like Fox News and Seattle Times and, all their platforms and a lot of other ones. I just mentioned a couple came. But ain't nobody black came. Then none of our black platforms come. They didn't come and say, Dre, man, can you tell us and share with us what you did that we can take this information around the country and help other brothers and sisters that are dealing with these situations over in this city and this city? Can you tell us what you did? Right? None. But white folks many a times came to ask me, how did you do it? They wanted the specifics of everything, right? Because they want to duplicate it in what they wanted it for. It might have not been for police accountability because the information works across the board. You use this like I've been using it across the board. Whatever came my way, I utilize it to win. And white people, one thing for sure, they know that knowledge is power. If it's something they don't know, they will pay you to get it because they value information and knowledge. Our people, while white folks is putting satellites up in the air for 25 years and celebrating that, we celebrating the next mixtape. Are you serious? That's why I say it's only from the remnant. Do you know how many guys in here be talking about Dre this, Dre that? Somebody called me the other day, was saying some guy was online. And not, I just want to show you something. That's why I'm saying it, because I can care less. I've been who I am for a long time. You don't like me, get in line. Nigga, there's a whole bunch that don't like me, right? But just to say that, just like they were saying, when I was doing police accountability, you don't think that the government investigated everything about me? You don't think that the government you don't think that law enforcement didn't investigate everything about me, right? Especially if I was about to get this thing done, you don't think that they investigated everything about me? Of course, way more than what you could. But they still hired me as a street czar, right? And even though they might have tried some tricks by trying to put things in the media like I trafficked children, I'm not saying the police did, but people trafficked children and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because my case had a young girl in it. What was she, 16, 17, 16? Well, I didn't know she was 16. And everybody says that. Everybody says, oh man, I didn't know she was underage. I believe some people did know that a girl that they had was underage. I believe some of them did, but I didn't. But guess what? When they tried to put all that stuff, this girl who's probably now 38, 40 years old, probably 40 years old now, but when she was 38, she came out of the woodwork, went on the news, Fox News, and here in Seattle, and told the people that, listen, I know that the people in these conditions, that a lot of this stuff that you guys are talking about could happen, but that this wasn't my story. And I lied to him. I told him I was 18 years old. She came out and said that on the news. Because the Most High is just that real. Because I did not know that she was underage and wouldn't have sought for her. People say he had many cases of underage girls. No, I didn't. This is one case I had, and I did not know she was underage. And I'm not here telling you that because I want your goddamn fucking approval, or I'm trying to I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. I'm just giving you examples of how people still take things and keep them in the air. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it happens. So for the rest of my life, I might have somebody saying this, that, and the other. I don't care. That it hasn't stopped anything. It ain't stopped me from changing laws. It ain't stopped me from being married for 25 years. It ain't stopped me in my life. It haven't stopped my success. Do you understand? You can spend all their time in the world talking about who I was yesterday. That person's dead. Who I am today. Wait 1 second. William! That's my dude. He painted my dad's picture. William, where you at, man? You ain't on. William, where you at, man? What's wrong with your camera? Dang, man. Tap back in, man, because I'm about to get off. So I'm just saying that, these things happen in life, especially when you're in the streets and, girls come on the street. I mean, it happens all the time. But they don't say nothing about what they done did to our people. How many children they done raped and trafficked. They never even given black people an apology. They quit to try to put the finger on somebody else, but they don't say nothing about how many they done raped and sodomized and killed and murdered, and any desire that they had, they did exact every. If you read some of the things that they did, if you do the research, you will literally want to puke. Chattel slavery is the worst shit that the world has ever been introduced to, right? If you went and did research, because they ain't gonna show that on today, they ain't gonna show it. Roots was nothing in compared to the shit that they did. And some of you so young you don't even know the movie Roots. The shit that they did to us, right? The medical things that they did. You know what I'm saying? Would do medical things to us without any pain, anesthesia, anything. You know, the things that they were trying to discover using black people and bodies and just some of the most horrendous shit in the world. And we haven't really got an official apology. No reparations. But they go give Israel billions of dollars a year. And whatever happened to Israel, those Jewish people, that didn't happen in America. But they still give them billions of dollars a year. They don't give you shit. That's how they think about you. So I want to teach the remnant. I've got success in the country. It didn't come the way that they said I had to have it. Listen, the Most High is in charge of my life. And as powerful as they are, and they are, I've never been afraid because I know who's with me. And they've probably heard that church shit for 100 years and never seen anything, right? But I'm not telling you church shit because I'm not a Christian. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, an original blood descendant of Abraham. And I got the receipts to prove it. And you will continue to see through my life, because I ain't going to sit here and try to go back and forth to try to prove anything to you. I'm going to bring these receipts to the table. And whatever you got to say, all I'm going to ask you is bring yours to the table too. I'm not going around trying to make Jewish people believe that I'm the original, we the original. I don't give a fuck what they believe. God will show them. I'm not trying to make nobody believe who I am. Fuck them. I'm trying to show you who you are so that the Most High could rise upon your life. Ain't you tired of being enslaved in your mind? Ain't you tired of valuing all the things they told you should value? Don't you want to know who you really are? How you really thought? Don't you? Well, get in the goddamn classroom. Let me see if William is back yet. William, man, you still ain't here, man. Class tomorrow, 7 p.m. on my YouTube classroom. 7 p.m. Tap in. Go on to my YouTube. Right by subscribe. Push join. That's how you get into the classroom. Class on Wednesday, 7 p.m. West Coast time on Instagram. And class on my OnlyFans page on Thursday. So it's class Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the last class on YouTube is Friday at 7. There's a once you get in, you can go and spend weeks on all that library of information on different topics. All different topics, manhood, everything. Relationships, women, everything. Whatever, pick your choice. Go into that smorgasbord of information and get this information. Get this game. All right? Your boy Dre out. The wifey's probably wanting my attention, and I'm loving it, giving it to her. 25 years this year, and I used to be a pimp. If I can do it, 25 years married this year, and I used to be a pimp. Wow. If God could do that for me, he could do it for anybody. And I'm not, like I said, let me say this. My life wasn't changed to appease white people. I don't care what they think about me. My life is changed for us, right? And I reflect back on a lot of things. I talk about where I was at. I talk about how I thought. I talk about what I learned and everything because it's all me. It's all my life. I talk about it in my music, right? Because I got somewhere to lead us. My life matches my words, and my words match my life. Peace. Thank you all who contributed. Love you. Bye.